our webinar on more profit, more time and more sales. It's always good to start by putting a face to the name, so here we are. Here are your speakers today. I'm the one on the right, Michelle Reynolds, and Pete Evans is on the left. So what are we going to cover in today's webinar? Well, we thought we'd introduce you to ourselves. It's always polite. Then we'll have a look at the aim of the webinar, and then we'll move on to the two main subjects for today, which is profit focus, which will be delivered by myself, and sales focus delivered by Pete. So let's go through a bit about me. I'm Michelle Reynolds from Collaborative. I've had 25 years experience in industry. I used to live in the corporate world, and the projects I did there included turnaround projects, change management and strategic direction to MDs. But for the last 5 years I've been working with SMEs, and my projects are focused on automating systems and procedures, pricing and profitability and management information. And here are just some of the industries that I've worked in before, from manufacturing right through to service. So I'll hand you over to Pete and he'll talk a little bit through his resume for you.
Good afternoon everybody, my name is Pete Evans and I'm the Managing Director of Alton V, and I'd just like to tell you a little bit about my experience. I've got over 25 years sales experience, and now in a wide variety of different sectors, and the sectors that I've worked in over the past 25 years include legal profession, financial services, commercial design businesses, construction, marketing agencies, IT companies. And within this webinar I'd like to introduce you to some sales concepts which can immediately have an impact on your sales and increasing your sales performance. And I'm going to hand back over to Michelle now.
So let's start with the profit focus section of our webinar today. There are two main reasons for being in business. One is to service the customer, and two is to make a profit. But in order to make the maximum profit, we need to focus on the customer. What if your company could discover and nurture its most profitable customers? What if you knew which customers and market sectors to focus on in order to maximise your profit? What if you could identify immediate sales opportunities and accurately understand the cost of your processes? And what if you had enough cash to invest in growth and motivate and retain your employees? Well, it is possible. I know from experience that it is, but it's possible only with a customer focus. I want to first talk you through this little graph. And this is what happens in so many businesses. The top line is the sales line, and the red line at the bottom is the profit line. And you can see that after a while, after growing sales, something's not right. The sales are not dropping through to the bottom line. And this is because alongside the increase in sales comes an increase in overhead. And that's what we need to rectify today. So let's look at traditional management reporting. It looks inside and not out. It uses average returns. It can lead to a silo mentality in your organisation, and it can lead to cost cutting that may damage the business. With a customer focused reporting, you'll add value to your customer, you will be able to increase your sales and improve your processes. And once you've improved your processes, you'll be able to turn those cost savings into growth. Now let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. I've been through a number of companies, and there are many reasons why each of them incur cost. But the main reason is because it delivers a number of processes in order to reach the end result. So let's take an example here. I've been working out a cost per activity within this organisation, and in order for the customer to receive what he or she wanted, We've had to do some sales calls, we've had to process orders, produce and deliver those orders, and provide service calls after. And I've worked out an activity cost for each of those, giving us a total cost of that customer of £38,000. Now they are what I call value added costs. They actually help us to service the customer to the level that he or she requires. Now if we take this a little further and incorporate this kind of costing into our management reporting, we can have a comparison between customers. Now for ease of illustration here, I've assumed that each customer A, B and C has the same turnover and the same gross margin. But you can see that they have different value added costs. Customer A has £38,000, ranging to customer C, who costs us £62,800. Now this gives us a perfect opportunity to understand how we can improve our profitability. With customer A, we'd like to find out how we can find more of these types of customers. Customer B is fairly profitable, but it can be more profitable, so how do we improve their profit? And customer C, do we lose that customer or do we work to improve it? Now we also, in an organisation, have non-value added costs, those costs which we incur that don't help us deliver the product or service to our client. And we need to reduce those because they're doing nothing to help our business grow. Now in addition to helping us understand the cost of our processes and help us reduce that cost so that we can invest it in growth, it also helps us to find some quick sales wins. Once you've performed the activity of looking at the profit per customer or market sector, and you combine that with an analysis of the profit per order, you can do an awful lot of things. Here's a pivot table that I did for a particular customer of mine. Now the white gaps show us some sales opportunity. So in this instance, is it possible that we can sell product 6 to the construction industry? The green cells are really successful sales. So in this instance, we're very good at selling product 4 to the legal sector. Now, is there any more potential within that sector to increase that figure? They obviously need it, so can we sell more of it? And the larger gaps, is it actually worth being in that industry at all? Do we exit it, or is it an opportunity? Now that's from a sales perspective, but in order to maximise our profit, we need to focus on the profit per order. So we can see here that product 4 gives us £65 per order, but product 2 gives us £101 per order. So if we use this information to focus our marketing activities, we can very quickly begin to improve our profitability. And it's simply by changing the way that we report our financial performance. But obviously we need to act on this information. Customer focused reporting will help you understand your processes to reduce the right costs. It will help you understand who buys what to highlight sales opportunities fast. And it helps you understand profit by customer to focus the limited resources in your organisation. In short, it helps you deliver more profit, more time and more sales. I'm now going to hand you over to Pete, who's going to talk you through the sales focus for this afternoon.
Good afternoon again, everybody. What I'd like to talk to you about in the second half of the webinar are some ideas about how to immediately increase your sales, and linking back to the discussion which Michelle has provoked through her half of the webinar. And what I'm going to look at are some consistent ways which you can increase your sales, but both in a cost-effective and in a professional way. So the objectives that I've got within the next 15 minutes or so are to discuss the challenges that people face when trying to increase sales in their business. Secondly, to provide you with some quick wins and easy to implement ideas which can help you increase profitable sales back into your business. And finally, I want to give you some points which can help you focus on some simple steps and some takeaways which you can go away and implement in your business either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. So I'm going to start by looking at the different challenges that we all face in terms of increasing sales into our business. Well, the first one is quite a common one, which people approach me about. And people call me or engage with me because they say that they are actually running out of prospects in their business. And this is a common theme amongst salespeople. So let's look at some of the reasons why this might happen. Well, lots of businesses invest heavily in their marketing strategy, their website and their marketing collateral. But if you have great products and services, you should never actually run out of prospects. So let's look at some possible solutions to this problem. Well, the first thing that you need to consider is word of mouth marketing, because word of mouth marketing is one of the simplest and most cost effective ways of building your business. And this form of marketing has been made much easier with all the social media tools such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and Google Plus that are now available to us all. Well, let's look at how this would work in more detail. Because we all want to develop an army of personal walking ambassadors, or PWAs. Let's look at the example of if you have an accountant. If you have an accountant who charges you £2,000 for producing your company's tax return, but yet saves you £6,000 in tax, you are going to be extremely happy with your accountant, and you're more than likely to recommend him or her to other people. And in the excellent book The Go-Giver by John David Mann and Bob Berg, we are introduced to the concept of personal walking ambassadors. These are people who will happily recommend you to other people. And when you receive recommendations from existing clients, then the people that you are recommended to won't be buying your product or service based on price. They will be making their buying decision based on value. But let's look at a second solution. This solution is also discussed in great detail in the book Endless Referrals by Bob Berg. Bob Berg states in this book that we all know at least 250 people. So if you're in sales or you're in business and you're thinking, I don't have a prospect list, well, we all know lots of people. And the people that are in your friends, your family, your circle of trust, your neighbourhood, the golf club or other sporting club that you might be aligned to, or your church, they will all know people who work in different positions in your target list. So you should never run out of prospects. But let's look at challenge number 2. People say, well, I don't have a clear approach to sales. Yeah, a lot of businesses will have a clear approach to their marketing strategy, their IT, their finance. There are some really quick things that you can do to make sure you have a clear approach to your sales. The first thing is to make sure that you block out consistently time to undertake your sales and business development activity. If you don't block out the time to undertake sales and business development activity, you are not treating your sales seriously. You would block out time to have meetings with other people within your business and to have meetings with clients. So why not block out time to do your prospecting, to make those important phone calls to prospects, to cleanse your database, for example. The second part of the solution is to clearly define your sales process. If your sales process is all contained on a scrap of paper or in your head, how can you possibly communicate that sales process to your sales team? Or if you don't have sales people, how would you communicate it to the rest of your business and the people within your team that make up your business? And how do you know where your prospects fit in either your sales process or, more importantly, their buying cycle? And finally, if you don't have a clear approach to sales, once you've written down and documented your sales process, make sure you actually stick to it. because the sales process is equally as important as any other process you have in your business. The next challenge presents a challenge for most people that I deal with in business, and people say to me, we either don't like selling and we dislike salespeople in particular. People say to me, but Pete, I set up in business because I didn't want to do selling, and I had this great idea, or I've got this great product which lots of businesses are going to need or do need, but I just don't like selling. Well, there's nothing wrong with being in sales, and there is a simple solution here, and that is change your whole approach to your business and change your mindset. Because the more you go on in either your sales career or in business, you will recognize that salespeople play an extremely important part in the economy of our country. And actually, salespeople are extremely important because they create the opportunity for people to buy fantastic products and services. So be proud and introduce a sales culture or sales DNA into your business. And actually learn to interact with salespeople if you dislike them, and find out what makes them tick. So what about challenge number 4? Well, this is linked back to our second challenge of not having a sales process. And this is not treating sales seriously in your business. And linked to this is a clear lack of preparation for sales meetings, sales presentations, and prospecting. Well, there are 3 simple solutions that you can incorporate in your business to overcome these challenges. The first one is mental and physical preparation. So what do I mean by physical preparation? Do I mean training physically for a marathon? Well, no, I don't. What I mean is that before you have a meeting with an existing client or a new prospect or a referral, make sure that you find out as much as you can about your client or prospect by doing your research on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook. Obtain a copy of the shareholders register from Companies House. Get a copy of their last set of audited accounts. Make sure you read thoroughly the words they use about their company on their website. Find copies of any recent press articles about the company, but make sure you know as much about your client or prospect as you physically can. That is physical preparation. Secondly, mental preparation. Prior to the meeting that you're going to have, block out time in your calendar to rehearse the meeting, visualize success in the meeting. Also, think about the objections that your prospect is going to raise in the meeting or the presentation, and mentally rehearse your responses to those objections which they might raise. By mentally rehearsing, you're going to put yourself in your prospect or client's shoes. And when you put yourself in your prospect or your client's shoes, you have a different view of the world. Mental preparation is a technique which is used by great sports teams. They don't just run out onto the pitch without a game plan. They've also mentally visualized winning the game. Secondly, make sure you invest in yourself. Invest in courses, in training, in CDs and DVDs, and also books about sales. Join groups on LinkedIn where they discuss the latest selling techniques. And finally, seek out other successful salespeople and business owners and speak to them about the techniques that they use to build sales within their business. So finally, let's move on to challenge 5. Your clients aren't buying all your products and services. And this is a thing which many of my clients, when I first started working them, tell me, but why is it, Pete, that our clients don't fully understand what we can do for them? And why are they buying similar services or products from our competitors? So you're not getting as big a slice of the client's check or wallet as you would like to do. Again, we have some simple but proven techniques to help you overcome this challenge. The first thing to do is to conduct client reviews with all your existing clients. Invest time in your clients by seeking to understand them better, and ask them great questions in these meetings about what challenges they face, what their plans are for the next year, the next 3 years. The more you understand about your clients, the more of your products or services you'll be able to sell to your clients to help them achieve their goals. Introduce a proper client review process. Make it an automatic and obligatory part of your sales process. And seek to become a trusted partner of as many of your clients as you can be, because changing the dynamic of your relationship and becoming a trusted partner will help you increase sales. So let's look at a summary of the key things which can help you increase your sales. Well, the first thing is keep it simple. Secondly, make sure you have a sales process and you document it. Thirdly, identify your army of personal walking ambassadors, people who can make quality introductions to other prospects who fall into your target market. Make sure you do identify your target market for your product and service. Make sure you fully understand your clients and prospects by undertaking research about them on the internet. Make sure that you are mentally prepared for all your client meetings. And at all stages, make sure that you're offering value to your prospects before they buy from you, because by doing this, you will increase your chances of success. So thanks very much for your time, and I'm going to pass over to Michelle to close off the webinar.
Right, thank you very much, Pete. That was some really good sales tips there, some of which I have used in my business and they do work. So how can we help you going forward? We would love to help you. We're actually creating an online training program. It's a 6-week course and it's called the Business Accelerator Program. It's going to be online so that you can study anytime you like. Workshops can be quite tricky to attend if you're a busy business owner. We appreciate that. So we've decided to put our training online. To get more details about the training program, you can please visit our sales page, which is www.smartprofitgrowth.co.uk/growth-workshop. And if you click on there, you have the opportunity to read a little bit more about the online training program and to register your interest. Once you register your interest, you will receive a copy of this webinar as well, so that you can keep flicking through the slides and try and implement our tips and advice in your own business. We hope you've really enjoyed our webinar. We've certainly enjoyed delivering it, and if you want any more help at all, just please go to the sales page at the end. Thank you very much and have a really good day.